What's up, TappN fam? We're back with another Shots O'clock series where we bring you the insider secrets on the nightlife in your city by tapping in with the movers and shakers of the industry itself. Today, we have the absolute pleasure of meeting with one of the hardest working DJs in the Cleveland nightlife right now, a true visionary when it comes to creating her events. You can see her out on the dance floor supporting some of her local DJs as well as behind the booth in some of your favorite nightclubs. Ladies and gentlemen, founder of Blended Tea Company, co-founder of Hip Selections and Happy Endings, DJ NicNacc. NicNacc, we appreciate you taking the time to tap in with us.
I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to dive right into it. Tell me a little bit about yourself and when you became a DJ.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm NicNacc. Okay, so I'm going into my 10th year of DJing.
Okay.
We're celebrating a decade.
Yes.
We're celebrating a decade this year in August. I'm super excited about that. But I think music has always been, it's always been inside of me. Okay. I grew up in Russian restaurants. My mom is a singer. She's a singer and musician. Ooh. So I grew up at these Russian bars and restaurants. It's a very unique experience where basically they're serving you food nonstop the whole night. My mom is singing, the Russians are dancing,
okay.
And by 3 in the morning I'm asleep in a small chair like that with somebody's Russian fur over me. So that was my whole childhood, and that translated into into middle school and high school where I started making mixed CDs. And I was always a person to put mixes and everything together, and I didn't realize then that would be the reason why I would DJ.
Start DJing,
later on. So, in my early 20s, I was in school and I was working, and I was I'm not really enjoying anything that I'm doing. So let me just sit down and reevaluate what it is that I want out of life and what brings me joy. And it's always been music more than anything. That's my greatest passion in life. So I was I don't want to be a musician. I don't want to sing, even though my mom, she encouraged me to pursue singing, but she said I'm not as good as Whitney Houston though, so I should.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's still time. There's still time.
We'll see. Maybe I'll produce some tracks.
Okay.
Maybe, possibly. But I just thought DJing would be the perfect way to just segue all the things that I love about music. So yeah, that's where it started, and here we are almost 10 years later.
I absolutely love that. So walk me through when you first started DJing. Do you remember your first event that you DJed?
Absolutely. So at the time, I was bartending at the Guardians Stadium. So I was bartending there, and I was in school, and I was doing a lot of different things. And my best friend and I, we sat down. I also worked at the mall at the time. I have always been a person of many jobs. I am a hustler through and through.
I love that. It's the Cleveland mentality.
Absolutely. But we sat down for lunch at the mall one day, and we were both let's start DJing. I don't know. Somehow we just landed on that, and our journeys just started together that way. And I had a friend who owned a place called C'est La Vie. And this is almost 10 years ago. So at that point, I was just kind of teaching myself, playing at home. But they were we want you to throw an event. So I was fine. I'll throw my first party and just rip the Band-Aid off and just get out there. So yeah, I threw my first party, and all my friends that I worked with at the Guardian Stadium came, and a lot of my other friends came, and it was it was a success for the first one. It was a really good party. So from there, I was just okay, we already did it. We, like I said, we ripped the Band-Aid off. Let's just get on this journey. And it's kind of just continued from there. Okay. So I started just, supporting other people and going to other people's events, and just seeing what it is that I can contribute. And then it all blossomed from there.
And I've seen that. So throughout the last few years, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to sit down now, because I've seen you not only in different venues, but in different avenues throughout the industry, from R&B sets to house sets to hip hop sets. How would you describe your style or sound as a DJ?
I would just describe myself as just a big jumbo, or a big jumbo gumbo.
Okay, jumbo gumbo, I like that.
I'm a jumbo gumbo of music. I love everything, so that's always been for some people it's difficult for them, or a challenge, because they feel in this industry you have to just kind of latch on to one thing. And I think in the recent years I've kind of just used that as my superpower, because I love all music, and I am I'm deeply passionate about every genre I love. I deeply love R&B. I deeply love soul, funk, and disco. I deeply love house music. I deeply love 90s hip hop and R&B. I am for certain about the things that I love when it comes to music. So I love sharing that. And I feel that's, like I said, been my superpower recently, where I'm able to use my brain for different themes and concepts in venues where I see fit, where I see the music that I love can fit in those spaces. And I feel like that's helped me more than anything recently, where I used to feel like you love house music, like be a house music DJ.
Okay.
But I'm just not that. And I am embracing those parts of myself now, that I love everything and I want to play everything in one set and I want to do it really well. So I've just
and if you're capable, you should.
Yeah, you should. And I feel like, I taught myself how to DJ, and I've studied a lot of other DJs, and I've just taken bits of pieces of things that I love from all of those things and incorporated it into having a strong skill set as a DJ, but also being able to incorporate the eclectic sounds that I really love. So
okay.
Not limiting myself anymore to anything.
Amen.
You're going to hear it all in one NicNacc
I love
set,
that.
Okay?
Now, I will say I had the absolute pleasure of attending my first Happy Endings, and the vibe that you have created and curated for these events, the people that you bring out, not only that, but your sound, hearing you go from an R&B mix to a house mix within the same transition is just magical. And watching how the crowd feeds off of you, I was absolutely inspired.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Happy Endings is that's my baby.
Okay.
That's my baby because I'm able to do exactly that. That was really the whole point of starting that party in general, was to create a space for people who want to dance, for one, and for creating a space for us too, because I needed that outlet to be able to do those things, because my favorite thing to do is to blend genres together, but I didn't necessarily find that in nightclub life. So I'm like, we have to create that for ourselves. So that really makes me happy that you resonate with it, because that's all I wanted.
Okay.
That's all I wanted, was people to hit the dance floor and to feel good and to know you're going to hear everything. You might hear music you never heard. You might hear a special edit or remix of a song that you love and be able to sing to the top of your lungs while also I'm dancing at 123 BPMs, but this is a 90 BPM song essentially, but it's like, it just gives you a different outlook on what music and dancing and nightlife can be.
Yes. So while we're here, walk me through the first Happy Endings event. How did that come together?
Okay, so we're celebrating 3 years this month. So it was in January of whatever 3 years ago was, 2022. And we first started at Sen's Pizza. So the goal of Happy Endings was, so with my tea company, I had a tea blend called Happy Endings. And it's like a chamomile, lavender, very calming, relaxing tea. And I would drink it at night, and I was just looking at it one day oh my gosh, I drink this at the end of the night, and I want to incorporate this into my parties some way, somehow. And I'm like, okay, the name Happy Endings can really fit for always bringing a positive ending to every month. So that was essentially the goal.
Okay.
And then I brought all of us together. So who started it was me, DJ Esso, and Theo. So these are people I'm super close to and people whose ears I really trust.
Yes.
So I was just like, let's bring all of our eclectic sounds together in a pizza spot and throw a banger. Let's just throw a banger and see what happens, and bring joy to everybody at the end of the month. And it just it quickly took off. And I think that's just because the idea was so genuine, and I think it was so timely for me too, because it was a time where I needed an outlet for music, and I also needed an outlet for stepping out of what I was used to in nightlife. So it was the perfect time, and to see what it's grown to be now, and we have kind of sort of a residency at Bird of Paradise now. Okay. I love Sense. I would have kept it there forever, but we just kind of outgrew the space. But it was just so perfect to start it there because it was an obscure place to throw a party, and I think that's what really gave it its essence, is that you just were getting something you weren't used to.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. And you sharing, the origin from with your tea, and bringing it, the end of your day to the end of your month. You want to celebrate in the same way. I absolutely love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So if you don't mind me asking, where did the name NicNacc come from?
Well, my name is Nicole.
Okay.
I guess my name is Nicole. Nobody calls me Nicole. My name is actually NicNacc now.
Yeah, for sure. I only know you as NicNacc.
By government, I think everyone only knows me as NicNacc. Someone called me Nicole the other day, and I was like, who told you that? Who told you that was my name? So yeah, it was essentially one of my Twitter names. Okay. I've had many Twitter names because it's just I just love being creative with random stuff.
Oh, I love that.
So Twitter names was always the thing. So yeah, NicNacc was that. And I think people were already getting familiar with me as NicNacc, and then when I decided to be a DJ, I'm like, what else? Yeah. But I have a name in mind in which I might change it in a few years. We'll see.
You want to share with us? You want to hold on to it?
We'll see. Okay, we'll see, because the name might also be used as my alternate universe producer name where nobody knows me.
Oh, we're definitely going to revisit that in a few years for sure. So I've seen you travel all over the world for DJing. Where's one of your favorite places that you've DJ'd outside of Cleveland?
One of my favorite places to DJ is definitely DC.
Okay.
I love DC with all my heart. I think it's a beautiful city. I love how diverse it is naturally. It kind of like diversity just exists there naturally, and people are very authentic in that there. And I feel like that is a part of the reason why their nightlife is so diverse and feels so good. So my friend throws a party called Church on Sunday, and it's just a beautiful, eclectic, just group of people, and he brings them together in such cool spaces. So I think I want to say DC so far has been my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tap into go-go music a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just a little bit, you know, I'm not from there, so I embrace it when I'm there and I let them play it. But you know, I'll definitely embrace it and play a little sexy lady while I'm here.
Okay.
While I'm in Cleveland.
I love that. So you talk about blending through all of the different genres. Do you have a favorite genre per se to DJ? Not to put you on the spot.
To DJ, okay.
Yeah.
What is my favorite genre to DJ? I mean, I guess if I had to choose, I love the way people respond to R&B music, and I got the opportunity to DJ for R&B only.
Okay.
So that's, you know, I was able to travel with them a lot, and it was so very beautiful to see just how good people feel and how safe they feel when playing R&B music. You know, I think house has the same kind of effect because a lot of house music samples R&B and soul music, so I think that's a big reason why it's so tied into those feelings. But R&B is the essence of that. So yeah, I just love the response to it. I love to see people singing along. I love to see people embracing each other. So I think R&B like really has my heart.
Okay.
And I'm just a little lover girl at heart too. So
Hey, we love that.
I'm a lover girl. So I love anything where I get to exude that myself and also receive it back from others. And I think R&B does that.
R&B music. Well, I'm gonna definitely have to pop out to your next R&B set.
For sure.
For sure.
You got to. The bag is deep.
Ooh, noted. So with your approach to happy endings and hip selections, what is your approach to promotion?
You know, I just as of recently like really got into just like social media and just paying attention more to how I'm personally received in that way. And I think just what's helped me the most is just being authentic and just sharing in like a genuine way why I want you to come to my event and explaining what it is from an authentic place. And also just sharing moments from, you know, very genuine captured moments. Like I've definitely taken more seriously, you know, capturing photos and video and all that stuff. But I've just noticed that people just gravitate to seeing what's going on and what it is that you're trying to portray. So I just post photos. That's it now. I'm posting photos, I'm posting videos and recaps and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm just talking and being excited about it. You know, and I think,
authentically you.
Yeah, I think that's made it the best. I think my friends are always like, Nick, like you have to put yourself at the forefront of your events because people are drawn to you. And I really love that, but I've kind of always wanted to be like over here. Like I'll promote the event, but I don't need it to say like NicNacc presents that. But now I'm kind of embracing that more because I really do see and appreciate that people do place value on me being a part of it. So I'm embracing that part too, especially when it comes to how I'm promoting the event.
Good. And you've branded yourself in such a way that I won't say you deserve the recognition, but it should be acknowledged. You know,
Thank you.
This is a NicNacc event.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I have, you know, like the way I'm moving forward with things is I am very passionate about themed things. I love dressing up. I love a reason to do something specific and to utilize a certain space for what I see happening in there. So I feel like using my name for that, like I want to be more proud of that because I have good ideas.
Okay.
So we're embracing that moving forward.
So outside of social media, what do you feel is the most important part of a successful event?
Okay, so I think atmosphere plays a big part. I think, you know, where you're trying to do whatever kind of event you're trying to do, like I'm just going to use happy endings as an example. We do it at Bird of Paradise now, and it has that like basement party feel, which is the way that the music is played and how we are as far as like just kind of like more relaxed, and we're not like yelling on the microphone. You know, we talking on the microphone and engaging and all that stuff.
But it's
like,
a vibe.
Yeah, but it's a vibe. So like I think the atmosphere is number one when it comes to having an idea for a party. So like if you're throwing like an R&B type of party, like my brain just says like find something sultry. And if you're not able to find a sultry place, like make the lights sexy. You know, I care about lighting, I care about atmosphere. I also like am very specific about like drink menus and stuff like that. Like I just like things that make people feel special when they're in the space. And like I think, you know, photo ops are cool and stuff like that. Anything for engagement I think is dope. I don't find anything corny about like photo ops and making things like super themed and set up for people, because I think people do appreciate feeling special and like, oh, like I get what this is, because there's so many different elements that make me understand it more. And I think just being true to yourself and how you share an event matters, like when it comes to I feel good about having a party at Bird of Paradise because I know I would frequent it there. I know I would go there, so I feel good about telling people to come there.
Gotcha.
So I think just being like genuine about where you throw events matters more than the place itself.
Okay.
And also just like when it comes to venues and stuff, just making sure that your morals and values and goals align with those places too, because sometimes when those things are not discussed early on, they kind of get, you know, segued in a negative way, unfortunately.
Yes.
And I've experienced that, so being genuine about communication too.
And that's very real in this industry. So setting those morals and those boundaries early is definitely something that not only I recommend, but I can tell it's worked for you. And I will say, being at your events, your attention to detail does not go unrecognized.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's only going to get better.
Oh,
it's only going to get better.
There's
only going to be more to take away from events coming soon, I promise.
I love that.
Yeah.
So diving a little deeper into the nightlife culture itself, what do you feel is one thing that is missing from the Cleveland nightlife?
Oh, one thing that is missing. I think I am so grateful for my community, and I'm so grateful for the people who frequent my parties, and I really see it continuing to grow. But I do feel like there is still a disconnect in culture in Cleveland when it comes to nightlife. Sometimes it can be very black and white, and I have no opposition to places having their identities, and I think that's beautiful, and I embrace, you know, like a place having a certain demographic, and it really has less to do with the demographic itself. It has to do with people's ears. And I think people just being more open to like coming to an event like Happy Endings, or you know, my homie Bully, he does like more Latin nights and stuff like that. There's so many options for events, and I think people just being a little bit more open to embracing them instead of like judging a book by its cover and not frequenting the event because you think like, oh, like the people who go there might be a little weird, or like I'm not a dancer, so I don't want to go to these events. But it's like, I think just appreciating the fact that people in Cleveland are so talented and interesting, and we have so much culture and diversity here naturally, and I think just embracing that more in nightlife would just do us all better.
Ooh,
you know.
Very well said. I appreciate it. If you could describe the Cleveland nightlife in 3 words or less, what would they be?
Oh, okay, 3 words. I'm not a woman of small words. So 3 words for Cleveland nightlife. I would say blooming.
Ooh.
I would say, okay, so blooming and growing are the same thing, so I won't use the same. I would say diverse. And I would say interesting. I would say they're interesting because I think Cleveland's nightlife is not just about parties. I think we have so much to offer when it comes to nightlife. Like, I think our comedy scene is blossoming like crazy. I think our dance scene is blossoming. I think our cultural scene is just blossoming. I think our arts and everything are blossoming. So I think that nightlife in Cleveland is very eclectic. And it goes far beyond just parties. So I love that about being here.
Okay, I appreciate it. Elaborating on that a little bit, what is one thing the Cleveland nightlife has that you feel the other cities don't have?
Okay, I guess I kind of just said that in before, because I've been thinking about this recently, actually. I think we have a better comedy scene than a lot of cities, and it's really like underrated. And it's something that I started like frequenting by myself. So my homies Pope and Elliot, they do a comedy show called My Cousin Funny. And I think it's actually tonight. I think they have one tonight. But it's so funny. It's so amazing. And it's something I started going to by myself. And I'm like, this is so cool that I can go to a comedy show by myself and I don't feel like pressured to do anything. I can just sit and enjoy. And I can't say that I've been to many other cities where I can just, you know, kind of just pop out. We have the option for a lot of...
on every day of the week.
Yes, on every day of the week, I think we have the option for really cool, like, live music shows. You know, we have, like, open mics and stuff like that. We have people who are doing poetry events. I think we have so much to offer on the daily that I've kind of overlooked before, you know, because sometimes you get in the mode of like listening to other people say about the city where it's like, we don't have anything, what are y'all talking about? But I'm like, actually we have so much. So I think just the ability to be able to do so many different types of events throughout the week is something that really stands out to me about Cleveland.
Okay, I love that. And I couldn't agree more in the sense that people always say, oh, there's nothing to do in the city. But like you said earlier, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and go to some of these places. And I've done the same. I started taking myself on dates, and I've started discovering so many nooks and crannies and pop-up events and poetry sets and comedy sets and dance events. There's so much happening in the city on every single day of the week. People just have to get out. Yeah,
you just have to be willing to broaden your horizons a little bit. And I think and hope that that's just the direction that our city goes in, because I really do see so much potential in, you know, people wanting to come to the city for what we have to offer. So I hope that people latch on.
I think they will.
What's going on, because do it now before it's too late.
Say it. Say that. So what Cleveland scene currently do you feel has the best nightlife between downtown, the Flats, Ohio City, Coventry, Tremont, Cleveland Heights?
Okay. I think everywhere has its own, you know, unique thing to offer, which I appreciate, because some people don't like want to be at a nightclub. You know, if you were in a nightclub groove, like go to West 6th for sure. It's fire for that, and you have different options. But like me personally, I'm more of like I like to throw intimate parties, so if I was going to choose, I'd probably say some places like Ohio City and West 25th, because they have the options for those like intimate spaces that have very unique identities, like places like Sense Pizza and like Heart of Gold and you know, Bright Side or Bird of Paradise, where we do happy endings. Like, I like the options of being able to frequent a lot of places in one night that are nearby, but all have something different to offer. So
do you have a preferred day of the week to go out?
My favorite day is Thursday.
Okay.
I just like the word Thursday. I think it's a cool day. I don't know. Today's Thursday.
So where would you go for a Thursday in Cleveland?
Where would I go for a Thursday in Cleveland? Now that I don't have an answer. I'm not sure. I can only hope that there's a show happening.
Okay.
Or like tonight, you know, there's a comedy show happening, so I would go to that. I would probably go to a bar before. I'm not really drinking right now, but I would go have myself a mocktail.
Okay.
I like bars like Old 86. I don't know if you've ever been there.
It's just Gordon Square.
Yeah, it's just super cool. Like, and it has its own feel. So I like going to places like Old 86 or like Le Cave.
Okay.
Maybe have a glass of wine or something, and then go to a show, go see some music, you know, maybe Rock Shop or House of Blues is having a show or something. That's just my favorite thing to do. So
now there's definitely poetry on Thursday nights. I know people love poetry over at Africa Taste and Lounge. Happens like every other or once a Thursday. Yes,
I love that, and I embrace places like that. I know they have like, you know, their nights where they're playing on the piano and stuff like that. And I think it's beautiful to do it in spaces like that. And people need to go to this. Like, stuff is dope. So yeah, Thursday is my day. I'm a Thursday girl.
Okay.
I want to say Sunday is my favorite day of the week, but that's not to go out.
That's different. That's reset. I got you. That's for me. Yeah. Okay, so bringing it in, where do you see yourself as a DJ in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I have so many goals. My goals are like exploding.
Well, let's hear a few. I won't make you spill everything. You'll keep some for yourself.
So I really hope to, you know, continue to nurture the events portion of who I am. So I want to make sure like the things that I'm doing now and also planting seeds for are still, you know, set in stone 5 years from now and have their homes and people are frequenting them still. As a personal like DJ goal, I want to travel the world. So I'm hoping in the next 5 years that my journey takes me, you know, around the world to be able to play in different cities and different countries. I love embracing different culture, and I really want to see the world. So I hope that music is the reason why that happens.
I can see that happening
for the next 5 years. And a big goal of mine, I don't know how exactly this is going to play out, but I would like to own something of my own, whether it's a venue or a bar or a restaurant.
A venue. Yeah. I could see that for you.
You know, something where I can contribute all of my passions into one place, into one hub. So I think those are 3 big goals of mine for the next few years. Manifested.
I love that.
There's a lot that I want to do, but I see it all happening. So
beautiful.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, in closing, what advice do you have for someone who is up and coming, who is looking to get into DJing and events?
Oh gosh, people ask me all the time. So like people always message me like, I want to get into DJing. How should I do it? And I think my biggest piece of advice is always like, make sure that you love what you're doing first before you like, don't just start doing something because you think it's like it's going to make you popular or it's going to be a money grab or whatever the thing might do. You know, do things how you want to, but I think that if you want something to be long lasting, the first thing to do is to have a passion for it. So I'm like, I don't care if you don't know a lick of the DJ skill, but if you love music, you can learn how to DJ. So I always ask people, I'm like, do you love music?
Okay.
If you love music, go for it. Like, I think anybody who loves music should know how to blend two songs together, you know, because it's a good feeling. Sometimes my friends are like, oh my God, Nick, like I thought about these two songs and how they would sound together. Can you blend these two? And I'm like, you learn. You know, I'm like, you learn. It might feel good for you to do it. So that's my biggest like piece of encouragement is like, just ask yourself like what you're genuinely passionate about. And is it something that you would dedicate your life to? No matter how it plays out, you know, like, because I don't know how this is going to play out. I'm 10 years in and I still don't know exactly what God has for me, you know, along the way. But I know that I love it so much. I love events. I love people. I love bringing them together, and I adore music. So however that's supposed to be, I'm fine with. So I think like just being okay with the fact that you might have a specific goal when you start doing something and it might play out differently, but being okay because you love it that much.
Yes.
I think that's my biggest takeaway from that.
Amen. Do you have any upcoming events that you want to let us know about? I
do. Okay, so next Friday, January 31st, Happy Endings is celebrating 3 years. Ooh. And that is so exciting for us. And then I'm doing a like live recorded set on February 2nd at, what's the name of the place? I'm trying to say, Pure Fix.
Pure Fix,
So yes, okay. It's like a health bar and cafe. It's really dope. It's new in the Gordon Square area. It's really, really cool. So trying to incorporate, you know, doing more live sets in like these obscure places, you know, and I think that the cafe culture is awesome for just like a more healthy vibe, you know, of nightlife, but doing it in a different way. And I'm also doing an event called Moncherie on February 15th for the lovers. It's all vinyl and all wine, so it'll be a really beautiful, sultry night. So that's really what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, I love that. Well, where can people tap in with you? Social media, contact?
I'm just, you know, on Instagram at NICNACC, NicNacc. I post everything I do. I'm always sharing everything, and everything stems from that page. So all the other pages I have for parties, Happy Endings, Hips, Moncherie, that's all on there too. So.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, once again, NicNacc, we appreciate you so much for taking the time to meet with us. And ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to tap in with NicNacc, Happy Endings, Hip Selections, and tap in with us here at Tap In.
Thank you.
Pleasure, appreciate you.
Thank you so much.